Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Well, today on Knife Show Sunday, I've got another budget knife for you. The response that I got from last week's Knife Show Sunday, the true knife, has been very good. Got a lot of comments, a lot of views. So I think I'm going to stick with that budget theme this week and talk about another budget knife. The true knife last week come in at around $45, $46. This knife comes in at about 49 and some change, so right around 50 bucks. I'm sure if you got out and shopped, you probably could find it a little cheaper than that. I got this one from Smoky Mountain Knife Works, and I've had one of these before, and I loved the design of it. Loved everything about it except for the steel. The one that I had before was in AUS8, which is a stainless steel. It would take an incredible edge. I mean, ungodly sharp. But you take it out and use it, and when you get back, you had to sharpen it because the edge had rolled. It just would not hold up. It kept rolling over. And I got tired of having to do that every time I took it out and used it. So I had a buddy of mine that wanted it. I traded for it, let him have it. So I got another one. Now this one is in high carbon steel, and it is the Cold Steel SRK. It is in SK5. They no longer make the carbon V. Everything's SK5 now in high carbon. Now they make this knife in a couple of different configurations. You still think you can still get the AUS8, I'm not sure. They've got the SK5, they got VG10 Sanmai, and then they've got a S35V, I believe. So there's a couple of different options on that. They also now make an SRK Compact, which is a shorter version. This one here, oh, get it out. Overall length is 10 3/4 inches. The handle is 4 3/4. It is their Crayex handle, and we'll talk about that in a minute. The blade is 6 inches. With the little ricasso right here, it is about 5 3/4 inch cutting edge. Now, real quick, my other one that I had 10 plus years ago, this ricasso was about twice that size. It wasn't big enough that you could get your finger up there, but yet it was far enough away from the handle that over time you'd get fatigued because you were working so far out from the handle. So I'm glad to see them make that smaller. The handle, it is their Crayex. It is very grippy, very comfortable. I know from my other one that temperature doesn't affect it much. It feels the same no matter what. It is very shock absorbent. When you're batoning or anything with this, it takes a lot of that shock out of the handle. This is a full tang knife, even though it is not exposed. This little brass eyelet goes through the end of the tang about 1/4 inch from the end. So it is a full tang knife. The SK5 steel is a high carbon steel. It is, the equivalent of our 1080. So it's in between 1075, 1095, if you're familiar with either one of those. It did sharpen up very, very well. I kind of have a thing with production knives. When you get them or they sharpen them on a belt, there's always grind marks in the edge, and it's just a pet peeve of mine. I take a coarse stone, a fine stone, and then strop it, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it, and I get rid of all those grind marks in the edge. That's, like I said, just a personal preference of mine. Now, the coating on this blade, I wish SE Tops would take lessons on this. when you get an SE or tops and you rub that blade, it feels like you're rubbing 320 grit sandpaper. You can feel the grit in the coating. This one is more like 600 grit. It is a whole lot smoother than what SE and tops puts on. And that, to me, is great, because I don't like a coating that causes resistance, if that makes sense. You've heard me say on my SEs, cleaned a deer with it, and all that fat and membrane filled up the grit. This one, I can almost guarantee you won't have that problem. Another thing that's impressive about this coating, this thing has a 90-degree spine on it. And even though it's coated, oh, now it ain't gonna do it, huh? It will throw sparks off of a ferro rod. So to have a knife with a coating that'll be able to do that, to me, is impressive. But I'll get a video up maybe before Christmas of taking this thing out in the backyard and beating on it a little. Again, for a $50 knife, my opinion, this is a hard knife to beat. It comes with their, I think they call it a Securex holster or sheath. It's ABS plastic, molded plastic. Got a lot of attachment options. It comes with a combination plastic nylon belt loop. It is a very generous belt loop. And then the other thing, and again, this is something I wish a lot of other knife makers would start doing. You can take this thing on and off of your belt without having to take your belt off. It's Velcro, and then it's got a snap in it for just the added security of it. It is reversible, so you can set it up for left or right-handed. The fit in is incredible. Let me get all this up out of the way here. There's absolutely no rattle in it, and it's not going to come out. So for a $50 knife, it's impressive. I have no doubt that this one's going to be just as comfortable as the other one. From what I've seen so far, I do believe it's going to be a better performer than the other one I had. Just not a big fan of the AUS 8 steel. I've got one other knife that has a blade made out of that. It's a pocket knife. It has impressed me because it doesn't roll like the steel in the Cold Steel that I had before. So just AUS 8, I'm not a fan of it in a fixed blade knife. So that's just my opinion. I like the high carbons if at all possible. Definitely, if you ever get a chance to handle one of these, handle it, play with it, use it, you'll see what I'm talking about with the handle. I know some people don't like those rubber handles, but this one, me, myself, I think they've got it right for what it's designed for. According to the Cold Steel's website, this is issued at Buds. Now, can't find anything else that backs that up. I do know that it is an approved knife for Buds, but as far as whether or not the Navy actually issues this, and for those who don't know what I'm talking about, Buds is Basic Underwater Demolition School, Navy SEAL School. So, but Cold Steel claims that it's issued at Buds. I'll get a video out hopefully before Christmas. No guarantees of me beating on this thing. I'm working on a video for the True Knife of doing the same. But we'll get that and we'll go through them and see how they hold up and what they do. The weather here has been ridiculous. I don't know what's going on with the weather. It's December the 19th. Today it is 40 degrees here. On Friday, 2 days ago, it was almost 70 here. So, God, I don't know what's going on with the weather. For those who have been keeping up with all the tornadoes and stuff we had here in Kentucky, luckily where I'm at, we had a lot of trees and power lines and stuff down like that. We didn't have a lot of damage here in Kentucky, or in my area of Kentucky. Let me rephrase that, here in my area of Kentucky. The biggest damage here was at the Danville-Boyle County Airport, which is about a mile and a quarter that direction from where I'm at. We did have one hangar that was completely demolished, had a bunch of planes that were flipped and tossed. Across the road from the airport, we had one house that had its roof ripped off. Then we had another house that it missed the house but knocked the whole front end off of the garage behind the house. Nobody got hurt in our area, thank God. Nothing at all like what happened down in Western Kentucky. Pray for those people. They've got a long road to recovery before things get back to normal down there. So just think about the people that lost property, lost family members. Pray for them. Keep them in your prayers, because this is going to be a long time recovering. The last big tornado we had in Kentucky was West Liberty, and they're just now getting things back to normal from what I understand here in the last year or so. So this is going to be a long-term recovery for the people in Western Kentucky. Like, share, subscribe. I'll get you another video up here, hopefully before Christmas. If not, everyone have a good Christmas, and I'll see you soon.